Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Let's go start now. Tennis. Alex Eala ousts Bulgaria's Tomova. Sets up Swiatek rematch. Filipina tennis star Alex Eala is off to a flying start in the 2025 Madrid Open, sweeping Bulgaria's Victoria Tomova 6-3, 6-2 in the first round on Tuesday. With the result, Eala is now set to face world No. 2 Swiatek in the round of 64, after the defending champion drew a bye in the first round. Eala memorably defeated Swiatek when they played in the quarterfinal of the Miami Open in late March. The Filipina, now ranked 72nd by the WTA, trailed 1-2 in the opening set but broke Tomova to tie the count. She then proceeded to win 4 consecutive points to take control of the frame en route to a 6-3 win. Riding that momentum, Eala surged to a 4-1 lead in the second set before Tomova finally stopped the bleeding. But the Filipina teenager held her nerve and broke world No. 64 Tomova in the next game on her way to victory. Eala and Tomova had played at center court in Madrid, which the Filipina teenager called a big honor. They are top-notch courts. They are the best clay courts, aside from Roland Garros. Eala said ahead of the match. The sun Madrid was fierce, but not fiercer than the will of a young Filipina chasing her dream across the crimson clay. Alex Eala, just 18, stood at the center of court 5 at the Mutua Madrid Open. Fists clenched, eyes wide with victory. She had just defeated Bulgaria's Victoria Tomova -6-3, 7-6 in a match that swung with tension, grit, and flashes of brilliance. But this wasn't just about beating the world No. 77. It was about what came next. A rematch with Swiatek, the reigning queen of clay. But before the spotlight shifted to that highly anticipated face-off, Eala took a deep breath. She had earned this moment, one that echoed with the steps of the many greats who had walked the Madrid clay before her. It had been over a year since she first faced Swiatek. That day in a WTA 1000 tournament, Eala was still raw, fierce, yes, but fighting uphill against one of the sport's most complete players. Swiatek, then as now, had the patience of a monk and the precision of a surgeon. She dispatched Eala in straight sets. But that match planted a seed. Since then, Eala had grown, not just in ranking, but in resolve. She added muscle to her frame, more bite to her serve, and most importantly, belief. She learned how to stay longer in rallies, how to dictate points with her heavy topspin forehand, and how to stay composed when the moment threatened to run away with her. All of that came to bear against Tomova. From the first ball, it was clear Eala came with intent. She moved swiftly on the clay, her footwork honed from years training at the Rafa Naval Academy. She pounced on short balls and kept Tomova running corner to corner. The Bulgarian, known for her defensive resilience, scrambled and retrieved. But Eala's aggression kept her on the back foot. After clinching the first set, Eala found herself locked in a tense second. Tomova dug in, using slices and high-bouncing topspin to try to disrupt Eala's rhythm. The crowd, small but growing louder with each rally, felt the stakes rising. At 6-6, Eala stepped up to the baseline for the tiebreaker with calm eyes. And then, bam, bam, bam. 3 clean winners sealed it. Arms in the air, a proud smile breaking through her game face, Eala took it in. Victory. And next, Swiatek. News spread like wildfire. Filipino fans flooded social media with posts of pride and excitement. Rematch time. Let's go, Alex. Eala versus Swiatek 2.0. We're ready. Even Swiatek, during her own press conference, acknowledged the matchup. She's young, but she's smart, Iga said. I remember our last match. She's grown since then. I'm excited for this one. The tennis world raised its collective eyebrow. Could Eala do what few others had done? Could she dent Swiatek's aura on clay? The day of the match arrived, and so did the buzz. On one side of the net, Iga Swiatek, calm, focused, an undisputed titan on clay. On the other, Alex Eala, wide-eyed but unshaken, a rising star carrying not just her dreams, but the hopes of an entire archipelago. The match started with fury. Swiatek held serve with ease. Eala responded in kind, painting lines, hitting with depth, moving Swiatek with intent. Early on, the rallies were tight. Eala's forehand, once a work in progress, now bit through the clay with authority. Her backhand down the line drew gasps from the crowd. But Swiatek, ever the tactician, found gears others simply don't possess. With the match tied 3-3 in the first, she began to exploit angles, driving Eala wide and finishing points at the net. The Pole took the first set 6-4. Still, Eala was undeterred. The second set saw the Filipina raise her game even further. She broke Swiatek early with a stunning passing shot that whistled down the line. Her confidence soared. For a moment, the world no. One looked human. At 5-4, Eala served for the set. The crowd leaned in, knowing they were witnessing something special. The rallies grew longer, tenser. Swiatek saved 2 set points with unthinkable defense. But on the third, Eala nailed a cross-court forehand winner. Set Eala. 1 set all. Though she ultimately fell in the third set 6-2, the match was a battle. A war of wills and wonder. When they met at the net, Swiatek embraced her young challenger. "You pushed me," she said, smiling. Eala beamed, not in defeat, but in validation. In the post-match press conference, Eala sat with ice on her knees and fire in her voice. "I gave it everything," she said. "And I think I showed that I'm not just here to play. I'm here to win." Her coach nodded from the back of the room. She had grown not just as a player, but as a competitor. Back in Manila, fans stayed up late, watching her match on small TVs and phones under flickering light. Her run was more than sport. It was proof that from the islands of the Philippines could rise a champion. Facing across the net stood Bulgaria's Victoria Tomova, a seasoned pro with quick feet and a sharper game. But Eala wasn't there to admire experience. She was there to prove that youth, hunger, and courage can break through the ranks, and prove it she did. The match. From the very first serve, Eala displayed a calm that belied her age. Her feet danced across the clay, her topspin-heavy forehands cracking like thunder down the line. Tomova, ranked higher and tested by time, tried to dictate the rallies, using deep slices and off-pace balls to draw errors. But Eala's court sense shone. She moved like water, adaptable, flowing, unpredictable. She attacked with clean aggression and defended with quiet grit, refusing to back down in the long exchanges. She took the first set 6-3, pumping her fist to the roar of the Filipino fans scattered through the stands. The second set was a tug-of-war. Tomova raised her level, forcing Eala to dig deeper. Every point was a battle, and at 6-6, they entered a tense tiebreaker. Eala blinked only once, and then never again. With nerves of steel, she closed the match 6-3, 7-6-4. No roaring celebration, just a quiet nod and a fierce look toward the scoreboard. One mountain climbed, a taller one on the horizon. The rematch that echoes. Next up, Iga Swiatek. World No. 1. Clay Court Queen. Champion. The same Swiatek, who, a year ago, dismissed Eala in a swift and clinical fashion. But that was then. This time, it's different. Eala is no longer just a talented teen with promise. She's a warrior with scars, lessons, and the hunger of a challenger who remembers every point she lost, every weakness she worked to turn into strength. Her serve, more confident. Her shot placement, more ruthless. Her mental game, refined. And perhaps most importantly, she no longer looks at Swiatek with awe, but with ambition. From the islands to the clay, across the globe, in the streets of Manila, Cebu, and Davao, news of Eala's win spread like wildfire. Social media platforms lit up with pride. Idol. Rematch na. Let's go, Pine Power. Eala versus Swiatek. Round 2. We believe. In a nation where basketball courts line every barangay and boxing has long been king, tennis is carving a new place in the hearts of Filipinos. Because of Alex Eala, she is not just a player. She is a movement. From junior Grand Slam titles to wild card appearances, from early exits to breakthrough wins, she's grown before everyone's eyes. And now, she's on the brink of something far greater. The Swiatek Challenge. Iga Swiatek isn't just any opponent. She's the standard, the test, the gatekeeper of greatness. In the press room, Swiatek addressed the rematch with a knowing smile. She's improved. I can see that. I'm looking forward to seeing how much. It wasn't dismissive. It was respect. The kind you give to someone who earned their spot, not as a surprise, but as a threat. For Eala, it's not just about revenge, it's about redemption. The court remembers everything, and so does she.